My name's Joan, I'm your Gamesmistress, and here's a little bit about why I'm starting this channel. First, quick introduction. I've been kind of obsessed with games since before I could speak. Since the late 1990s, I've worked in the tabletop game industry as a designer, a developer, a rules writer, art director, and retailer. And for the last 10 years, I've been working at Snakes and Lattes Board Game Cafe here in Toronto, where my main job was basically to make sure that everybody's having a good time. And I did this mostly by recommending games to suit people's tastes, and by teaching the rules of those games so that nobody has to struggle through learning a rulebook. In recent years, I've started professionally running role-playing games like Dungeons & Dragons, and I've branched out into writing and speaking about games and play. I've also used games as a teaching tool for research students at the University of Toronto, and I've written pieces about play for the Washington Post and the Walrus magazine. I co-authored this book, which got some pretty decent reviews, and here I am now, getting into video production. Now, there are already a lot of great channels covering tabletop games here on YouTube, but on this channel we're going to be taking a bit of a different approach. Instead of focusing on consumer advisory and tutorials, we're going to examine what makes games work, why those games are worth playing, and how you can make the most of the time you spend at play. So anybody who's interested in human behavior can enjoy the show, even if they're not that interested in the latest tabletop game releases, or even if they're not that much of a game player at all. And if you are a big fan of games, and maybe sometimes you have a hard time explaining to your friends and family why that is, maybe this channel can help you out with that too. It can be hard to explain sometimes, because after all, there just aren't that many game enthusiasts out there compared to, say, movie buffs or foodies. Nearly all of us have played tabletop games at some point though, and all of us do have an interest in the things that games can provide for us. Things like connection, challenge, agency, escape, beauty, and excitement. I'm still new to video production, so I'm going to start slow with just one video a month, but I'm hoping to ramp up to twice that many soon once I've built up a bit more expertise and enough support on Patreon to make this my full-time job. Most of the videos, about 2 out of 3, will be short ones, 15 or 20 minutes long, called Bits, where I talk a little bit about some aspect of games or play, like the way that games can convey or withhold information, or the magic that can happen in a game where you're allowed to re-roll your dice. Sometimes we'll do longer videos, more like what you might see on other game channels, where we'll examine a certain specific title in depth. In these game unpacking videos, we're going to peel back the curtain and show you how the game's design works. And we'll give you all the tools that you'll need to use that game to provide a great evening of entertainment for your friends. I've also got ambitions involving longer video essays about the nature and history and psychology and economics and culture and so on of games and play, and I'd love to do interviews with professionals in the field too, but for now, I'm just going to learn to walk before I run. If all this sounds interesting to you, then you should definitely click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ding the notification bell. If you're thinking of hosting a game night and you'd like some help making it the best it can be, you can also hire me for a consultation at joanthegamesmistress.com. And if you're in a position to be able to help me build the channel, you just might be interested in some of my Patreon rewards, like voting on video topics, a live Q&A, or even a free consultation to help you run your next game night. I've made it my life's work to try to bring the magic of play back to a world that has, in my opinion, become too focused for its own good on productivity and seriousness and this sort of win or die mentality. A mentality that has disconnected us from each other and from ourselves. And I think it's long past time we rediscovered the joy, beauty, and power of taking a playful approach to life, and the fulfillment that comes from playing together. Thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me at the table. Your turn.